This logistics mission in the Kupiansk direction begins while it is still dark. The task of the soldiers of the 116th Separate Mechanized Brigade is to equip and deliver the UGV to the launch position. The first to check the safety of the route is an armored Humvee covered in netting, driven by a soldier with the call sign Romario. The man warns right away, the road will not be easy. The man has been in the military since 2025 and has already participated in dozens of such missions. This is literally a daily story, because without logistics, the front line could collapse.
If we fail to carry out these critical logistical missions, well, it is going to be incredibly tough for our troops on the front line. It is a situation we simply cannot afford to ignore. The guys are waiting for provisions.
Dawn is already breaking on the horizon, which means we need to hurry. Following the Hummer, a second vehicle is moving along the proven route, which will be picking up the wounded. It doesn't have armor, but anti-drone nets are a mandatory accessory for all transport on the front line. But what the car still can't be protected from is the ruthless Ukrainian roads.
You can only drive on asphalt. It's easier in winter, fewer potholes.
We reach the first point, fortunately without any incidents. Here we meet the direct executor of the mission, a UGV called Veprik. It sounds gentle, but don't let that mislead you. This equipment is quite sturdy and durable. It can carry from 300 kilograms to a ton of cargo, depending on the configuration. As it turned out, this particular UGV is already a service veteran, and even a record holder for the longest logistics mission. But there is a nuance, Romario explains.
This UGV's mission lasted 2 months. Control was lost, and it happened that it drove into the thicket. There was no internet. Well, the guys pulled it out, went there and pulled it out. It was dangerous there. Well, they pulled it out, and it's still working to this day.
So it was kind of lost.
Yeah.
It was waiting until...
A little lost one.
Now the UGV needs to be delivered to the location from where its autonomous route will begin. Further on, the road becomes even more dangerous as we are getting closer and closer to the conditional line of contact.
Look, if suddenly, God forbid, of course, there is an emergency situation, the first one to open the door is the front one, because if you open the back door, the front one won't be able to open.
Fortunately, we didn't need this knowledge. Veprik and we, together with it, reached the starting location without any incidents. At the designated point, we are met by 2 more soldiers from the 116th Brigade, who are already loading the UGV with everything necessary. From the side, it looks like Tetris, because equipment for several positions at once needs to be fitted into a rather compact cabin. But the guys, it's immediately obvious, are already very experienced in this. On top, they secure it all with a camouflage net.
And then the operator connects and heads to the point.
He has a long road ahead.
Yes, it takes sometimes 3 or 4 hours.
And the Veprik sets off on its long and dangerous journey. But there are places where even the UGV cannot reach. For example, these are forward infantry positions, and this is where delivery by air comes to the rescue, specifically using heavy bombers. So, after loading the Veprik, Herman and his comrades start assembling the aerial packages. Here too there is food, water, and even drones.
We are sending drones to the position.
It depends on your work speed and coordination to ensure the guys have everything.
Yes, of course. Because if a position has lost a drone, then we need to somehow, make a delivery. If we don't do it on time, the position doesn't function. And the front line, for example, is left uncovered.
Everything is packed extremely carefully and secured reliably onto the bird. From there, the success of the mission depends on the pilot's skill. And now, the Vampire is ready for takeoff with the package. Here are provisions, food, and water. Everything most essential for our defenders on the front line. And in just a few minutes, the Vampire will take to the sky. There can be up to a dozen such flights a day. The only limitation is the number of batteries for the Vampire, which take quite a long time to charge. So as soon as the equipment is ready, a new batch of supplies flies out to our defenders. And you and I can make it so that there are even more of these flights. By supporting the drone fundraiser for the 116th Brigade using the QR code and card number on the screen. These funds will go towards additional batteries for the copters, generators, and other important components for the UAVs. From the Kharkiv region, Igor Remkalo, Volodymyr Kovalenko, and Serhiy Marchenko, Fakti, United News Marathon.
At least 2 workshops were destroyed and 4 damaged in Russia, where explosive substances and gunpowder were produced. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine confirmed the strike on the Kamensky plant in the Rostov region. Our defense forces carried out the operation against it the day before. At this facility, the Russians produced solid rocket fuel for ammunition for the Uragan, Smerch, and Tornado S MLRS, as well as for a number of missile systems and aviation. It was also restless in Russia today. Over Moscow, social media users recorded drones and the operation of air defense systems. There were also explosions in the Leningrad region. There, in Izhora, drones preliminarily hit warehouses where the enemy was storing ammunition. The videos were filmed by the Russians themselves and actively shared on social media. In parallel, the enemy has been trying for the second day to extinguish a large-scale fire at one of the largest Wildberries warehouses in Koledino. On the front line, fighting is ongoing along the entire line of contact. The day before, the General Staff recorded 236 clashes. The enemy continues to apply pressure and is attempting to break through our defenses. The most intense fighting is being recorded in the Donetsk region. From the Lyman to the Oleksandrivka sector, the defense forces repelled 90 attacks. The enemy's tactics remain unchanged. They are pushing as hard as they can towards Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, and Druzhkivka. The situation is difficult in the area of Kostiantinivka. There, the occupiers are entrenching themselves and trying to bypass the flanks to reach Oleksevo-Druzhkivka. They are bombarding the Donetsk region with aerial bombs, scorching it with artillery and drones. In the Oleksandrivka direction, our defenders continue to counterattack. In the Zaporizhzhia region, the Russians are pressing on the Huliaipol and Orikhiv sectors. Fighting is also ongoing in the Sumy and Kharkiv regions. Here, the General Staff recorded 20 assaults.